All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time, but here we are with a fresh new build video. I know it's been the first one of the year, hopefully not the last one. Last year, I don't think there was a single one, but hey, here we are. Let's crack into it. Let's not get any time wasted here. Let's get straight into the business end of the portion here. We are going to get straight to the sets and why we are running them, the abilities we're running, all that goodness. And hopefully you enjoy it. Stick around. So we're coming straight in. We are running a hybrid Templar. We are going to be running everybody's favorite defensive set, Rallying Cry. We're running 3 light, 2 medium, 2 heavy. Roxa for the monster set, 2 medium pieces. The trainee chest. We are running Kin Marchers on the front bar. Rallying Cry on the back bar. Kin Marchers is why we end up having 2 heavy on. And that's perfectly fine in this situation. Death Dealer's Feat's going to give us a nice chunk of resources as we are in combat. And our Lightning Staff here is going to be granting us a lot of recovery so we can keep pumping out heals. Something to think about is that we are running the stamina version of jabs in order to get major brutality and major sorcery. And we are running Resolving Vigor. Those are the 2 stamina abilities that we're going to be running. So our stamina sustain isn't going to be too bad. You can always throw a few jabs out, and if your stamina gets a little lower, just make sure you can throw a heavy attack in there, pump some heals out, and, wait for things to equalize. We're running the Rallying Cry Ice Staff on the back bar. I've got it powered here with a weapon damage enchant with a charged Lightning Staff on the front bar, flame damage glyph in my situation. We are a vampire on this build. We're running stage 3. And that is why we are also running the Jewels of Misrule food, which is my preference if you're a vampire. If you're balling out of control, then by all means, you can run Orzorgas. The difference between Orzorgas and Jewels of Misrule is about 19,000 gold, 12 stamina and mag recovery, and 400 health. You do get health recovery included with Orzorgas, but since we are stage 3 vampire, that health recovery will be absolutely of no use to you whatsoever. So that's why I go with the, I guess you could call it the budget option, but I just think it's the smarter option. You'd be paying literally 19k gold, at least on PCNA. The difference between a Jewels of Misrule and a Bear Haunch is 19k, and you would get 400 health and 12 mag and stam recovery. So if you're balling, go for it. So we're running Jewels of Misrule for the food. We have our health and magic points. Yes, we are running a stamina spammable, but the majority of our abilities do cost magic. And you always got to make sure you've got a decent, healthy, chunk of health here. With Death Dealers, we hit close to like 38k-ish, when we're buffed up in the right campaigns. I'm a high elf on this character, so we do get a little bit of damage reduction when we are jabbing. And on top of that, we are running Toppling Charge on this setup. And with running Toppling Charge, we're going to get major protection when we use this, and then we get minor protection when we're using jab. So we've actually got a lot of mitigation built in here, on top of the fact that we are also running Living Dark. Solar Barrage we're using for some extra damage, just a bit of a flex spot. I do from time to time swap this out. It's a bit of a preference thing. If you want to say go with a Reflective Light for a little more crit, you can do that as well. We are running the Thief Stone on this setup. I tried a couple of different options, but Thief Stone seemed to be the one that gave me the most consistent results, where I didn't feel like I was losing a whole lot. Even though we don't have a crazy high crit, it still does make a pretty good difference. So going back and forth between whether you prefer Reflective Light for the dot damage and the Prophecy Savagery proc, or Solar Barrage, it's a lot more in close quarters. But it does give you that 5% extra damage done with all of your class abilities. And since we're running pretty much all of our class abilities are all of our damage, Solar Barrage is a great pick here. Currently, I've got Solar Prison on the back bar. I use that when I'm in groups sometimes. If not, then we are going to go with Temporal Guard here. I know Temporal Guard isn't Why is it not letting me slot that? Temporal Guard isn't necessarily like a whole lot of use when we're doing damage on our front bar, being that we get minor protection from jabs and we get major protection from toppling charge. But when you're playing defense and you're on your back bar, it's nice to have there. And Solar Prison, you're not really going to be dropping a lot of Novas in the middle of your, 1v1s or 1v2s or anything like that. This is for when you're doing group playing, doing a little Zerg surfing, having a good time, taking keeps with a bunch of your friends. It's a great decision, great way to go. We've got channel focus here. This is going to be for our mag sustain as well as our resistance, as we've gone over. Solar Barrage here, bit of a flex spot. Honor the Dead, this is going to be our burst heal. Race Against Time, this is going to be for minor force, the 10% extra damage with our critical attacks, as well as snare removal. The main thing is going to be snare removal and major expedition. This makes us go fast. Living Dark, probably one of the best things in the game for damage mitigation. It's got a long uptime. You get a lot of heals out of this. It snares the enemies that are doing damage to you. It's a fantastic ability. Front bar ultimate, we're running Crescent Sweep. This is just fantastically cheap damage, great burst damage. It comes with a dot on it. It procs Burning Light, one of your passives. Just solid all around. Solid all around. We've already gone over jabs. We are running Radiant Glory for the ultimate. This is going to give us a little bit more mag sustain, as well as just being a fantastic long-range execute. Toppling Charge, we've gone over. This is a gap closer that stuns your enemies and sets them off balance, which gives you a nice little window to be able to get in some burst damage, possibly. And we are also running the Exploiter champion points, which I'll go over momentarily. Extended Ritual, we use this to purge. This is an AoE ground effect, very large area. It purges 5 negative effects from you, as well as gives you a heal over time and a purge that your friendlies can use as well. And good old Resolving Vigor. It kind of seems to just fit on every build. You get minor resolve from it. Gives you a nice chunky heal. Yeah, there's really not too much to be said about that. It's a chunky 5-second heal, and it gives you minor resolve for 20 seconds. Definitely worth it these days in PvP. So under the CP here, we've got Fighting Finesse. It's going to increase our critical damage and healing done by 8%. Exploiter, this is going to give us 10% more damage to off-balance targets. So anybody that we hit with Toppling Charge is going to take 10% more damage while they are off balance. Duelist Rebuff, it's going to be a nice little defensive thing to stop us from taking damage from single target effects. And Ironclad, this is also going to stop us from taking damage. This is going to be from direct damage, and Duelist Rebuff is from single target attacks. So all around, pretty darn good. We've got a little bit of damage in here, a little bit of defense. Under the red tree, we've got Sustained by Suffering. I feel like a lot of these are pretty standard these days, but I could, personal preference by all means. Sustained by Suffering. When we're under the effects of a negative effect, we get 150 health, mag, and stam recovery. Bane's Refuge reduces damage taken 2% for every 2 negative effects to a maximum of 20. Yes, we can purge negative effects, and no, we're not trying to live with a lot of negative effects on us at once. But when they're there, it's nice to have this available. Celerity, we're a Templar. We need some movement speed. This is why we're using Race Against Time. I'm running 1 Swift piece as well for the Death Dealer's Feet jewelry. So by all means, you got to go fast out here. Survival Instincts reduces the cost of all your core combat skills. It's block, roll, dodge, sprinting. 25% cost reduction while afflicted with a status effect. And if there's anything that I can tell you about Cyrodiil, it's full of status effects. As I said, we're Stage 3 Vampire. We're running the Thief Stone. I gave you the points. I gave you the skills. If you've got any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask down in the comments below, or come and check out the Twitch channel, which will also be somewhere in the description, I'm sure of it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you have some fun with it. If there's any changes that you would make to the build, please let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. Hopefully this works out for you. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time, or down there on the Twitch channel. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.